The Northwestern Water and Sewer District believes in clean, safe drinking water for all. Watersheds dispense pure water for only a quarter a gallon. For purified, affordable water, try the Watershed water today. Go to nwwsd.org/watershed.
First of all, I want to thank you all for covering our press conferences and reporting back on what's going on in Northwest Ohio. I wanted to come today really to talk to the people of Northwest Ohio in regard to where we are with the coronavirus. And I think Ohioans have done very well for these 7 or so months. We fought back and things have worked pretty well. But we're starting to see some trends in the state that are very disturbing. And I want to talk a little bit about that today. Statewide, we're seeing the positivity rate go up. A couple weeks ago, we were down to about 2.5, 2.6% positivity. Yesterday, we were, I think, 3.9. So it's certainly going the wrong direction. Our number of cases now seem to be averaging at about 1,500 a day. It wasn't too long ago we were at 1,000. So we're very, very concerned about this. And what has really happened is we've seen some real spread throughout the state. Early on, the spread was focused in our urban areas. Today, our urban areas are certainly not out of the woods, but they're doing a lot better than many of our rural counties. And so what we're really seeing is a spread in our rural counties. In Northwest Ohio, we have some counties that are exceedingly high, a number of cases in the last 2 weeks. Fulton County is even higher. It looks like it's the highest county in the region now. Fulton County, at a rate of almost 3 times the high incidence rate of the CDC. So they're pushing 300. They're actually 287 per 100,000 in the last 2 weeks. So very, very concerning, disturbing numbers out of Fulton County. Wood County is at 162 per 100,000. That's their rate in the last 2 weeks. Their number of cases was 213 cases in Wood County in the last 2 weeks. 18 people went to the hospital. 18 people admitted out of Wood County. So these are very, very concerning numbers. And what we have seen throughout this pandemic, of course, is these things take time to develop. And so what you first see, of course, is a case. Someone gets symptoms, they're tested, or they're tested without symptoms, but you get a case. Some of that group will then later on, of course, end up in a hospital. And ultimately, some of those individuals may end up dying. So what we're seeing in some of our counties is a movement from younger people getting it. Let's say they're in high school, let's say they're in college. Then what I'm calling the rebound effect, which is what we really worry about, is they flip that over to somebody who's older, and then ultimately someone ends up in the hospital, or maybe ends up someone who dies. And what we're seeing across the state, not only in Northwest Ohio, but what we're seeing across the state, is that these cases are coming from weddings, they're coming from funerals, they're coming from parties, they're coming from social gatherings. Now there's some that are occurring out of schools, but it's a rare case that occurs in a classroom, either in high school, or grade school, or in college. The colleges, for example, I think are doing a good job in the classroom. They're doing a pretty good job even in the dorms. But where we're seeing the spread is just outside that, people getting together. And so, what we ask, and one of the reasons I'm here today, is just to say, look, we've done well. Ohioans have done great, but we've got some really disturbing numbers here. Really disturbing numbers in Western Ohio, Northwest Ohio. particularly in regard to our rural counties. Let's go to Wood County. Most cases, as you might expect, come out of Bowling Green. Bowling Green University. Students are following guidance, but what we're also seeing is, again, outside the classroom, outside the dormitory, we're seeing kids get together, and people are doing what people do. But again, this is causing a lot of spread. We're seeing, for example, the health department reports we're seeing kids go to groups in 10 or less to a house party, staying for a few minutes, then traveling to another house party. Although most cases are in the student population, those students are traveling through the community and are likely passing it on. Again, that's from the health department. Those are the things that we are particularly concerned about.
Do you think that President Trump's campaign stopped us here just a few weeks ago where we saw quite a few people not social distancing or wearing masks? Do you think that played a role in all the increased cases we're seeing in rural areas?
Yeah, look, I mean, anytime you get a bunch of people together, they're not social distancing and they're not wearing masks, we have a problem. I mean, there's just absolutely no doubt about it. I was in Dayton. My wife and I were in Dayton. We had our mask on, and we stayed back and separated from people. I mean, look, we can do these things. I mean, this is kind of part of what I want to tell people. We don't want to shut this state down again. We can have political meetings, rallies even. We want our kids in school. If we want to talk about what's really, really important, we want our kids in school. We want our kids to be able to go to college. We want, our people to be able to go to work. We want to be able to enjoy going to a bar or going to a restaurant. And what is really stopping this, it's not the category so much, it's when people don't wear masks. And if you look at what we see anecdotally, we have 113 health departments in the state. They report to us. I'm on the phone with them every Monday morning, 7:15. We have a great call, and they tell me, what are you seeing? And what they're seeing, it always comes down to parties, people getting together, not wearing a mask, not keeping social distance. It's funerals, it's weddings. And look, we can do all these things. Fran and I have been, unfortunately, in the last 3 weeks, I think, to 3 funerals. But they were outside, and people inside were very well spread out in the church. Everybody wore a mask. Some of them do it at the cemetery. Same way with weddings. I mean, people can get married and still have a little party, but 300 or 400 people at a wedding or a funeral is just asking for trouble. And we can all kind of accommodate this. Decide to have your party later. Get married. Fran and I got married when we were 20, so we're, getting married, it's great. But, if you want to have a big party, postpone it until after the virus is gone. So it's just using common sense, and I'm seeing these trends. And I wanted to come here today because I wanted to talk to the people directly of Northwest Ohio. We've done well. You're doing great. We're bringing our economy back. I'm very optimistic about what's going on. Yeah, we still have people who are unemployed. We still have people who are hurting. We still have businesses that are hurting. But what will really shove us down again from an economic point of view is if this virus flares up. And we're seeing bad trends. And if we can get people in our rural counties to wear masks at a higher level, doesn't have to be everybody, but if we could get 85, 90%, that would be just fantastic. We'd love everybody to do it, but these things matter a lot. And everybody wants their kids in school. I want my grandkids in school. But the biggest threat to that is what we do out in the community or don't do. And so if we do what we need to do in the community, we won't see the spread in the schools. We'll slow this thing down, and we'll be able to go on about our life until we get the vaccine. And when we get the vaccine and we get it distributed to enough people, then we assume, we're going to be headed back at least. So, who else?
Governor, are you anywhere close to another shutdown?
No. But these are very disturbing numbers. And, I don't want to be an alarmist. I don't want to, be out here and saying, everybody needs to shut down and go to their home. It's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is if you want your kid physically in school, we got to slow this down. We've let schools, we're a home rule state, we're a state where local school districts make their own decisions and parents make their own decisions. But if the spread is so widespread in a community, we are starting to see some schools going to remote or going to hybrid who wanted to be open. That will be the natural consequence of this. So if you want your child to play sports, if you want your child to be in school, please wear a mask and encourage your friends to wear a mask in the community, because no matter how good schools are, no matter how the principal or how the superintendent and all the teachers, how dedicated they are and how they follow the rules, if you've got kids coming into that school bringing that virus, it's going to be tough to stay open. And so bringing it down in the community is really the right thing to do.